Time now for today's property update with Kevin Brogan from Corelogic. Kevin joins us from Adelaide. Kevin, hello there. Take us through this week's auction results.
Oh, look, we've had quite a busy week this week. Obviously, last week there was a bit of a hiatus, but this week over 1,000 auctions in Melbourne for the day. Yesterday, and in Sydney there were 567. Now the clearance rates were a little bit down on previous Saturdays, 75.5% for Sydney and 70.8% for Melbourne. But nonetheless, those are both fairly solid results. Across the country, we had 2,220 auctions, and the preliminary clearance rate across all the capital cities is sitting a shade over 70%. In Sydney for the week, almost 750 auctions with a clearance rate of 74.6%, and Melbourne, 1,173 auctions with a clearance rate just a shade over 70%, 70.1%.
Kevin, you don't seem to be seeing much impact thus far. There's pretty healthy volumes and clearance rates, despite the impact of the coronavirus on the rest of the economy or fear around that. Why do you think that is? Because it surprises me that people are still making such a large decision in this environment.
Yeah, look, I think the listings obviously would have been made about a month ago, so anything that went to auction this week would have been listed a month ago. And there's obviously a much greater awareness now of the coronavirus situation than there was then. But obviously the clearance rates actually reflect buyer participation. Now, it may well be, people are modifying their behaviour in a number of ways: hand sanitizer, social distancing, keeping themselves just a little bit further away from perhaps other bidders. But also, this is a really big decision for people buying a property. So some of those behaviour modifications may include bidding by phone, for example. We've heard anecdotally that open inspections are down, so people may not want to inspect as part of a crowd, but may be making appointments to inspect on an individual basis. So look, there's no doubt behaviour modifications in play, and the impact is likely to appear. But this weekend, it doesn't seem to have had a big impact.
OK, well, it certainly didn't impact the top-selling property in Sydney, did it? $8 million.
Absolutely. Look, this is a beautiful penthouse apartment in a fairly small apartment development. I think there are 12 units in this particular development. It's got 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2 parking spaces, and views out over Lavender Bay. Purchased new just a shade under $2 million in 2002. And we've seen the median unit price in Milsons Point actually drop a little to 1.25 million. But this really is one of the premier units in this location, and obviously this is a very firm result.
Yeah, well, Kevin, that is extraordinary, particularly in this climate. Thank you very much for joining us.